everyone, my name's Charlie and I have 100% success rate of winning PIP. That's whether it's claims, mandatory reconsiderations, which is the posh word for appeal, reviews, and I've only done one tribunal, but we won. Okay, so 100% success rate. I also suffer from chronic illness myself. Am I recording? Yep. I'm great with PIP, crap with technology. Because I suffer from chronic illness, I have a severe form of arthritis, so I'm in varying levels of pain 24/7, and I suffer from chronic fatigue. And when I say chronic fatigue, I mean the type of fatigue where my body can shut down and I can sleep for 36 hours. Like right now, I'm struggling to hold my head up, but this is really important. My channel is getting more and more views, and every day I'm getting emails from people desperate for help, okay? And what is clear is, well, the whole process sucks. I think we can agree it sucks. But what's clear is there's no training. So today, this is critical. This is so important. I would not win PIP claims if I didn't go through this information. It's the behind the scenes PIP scoring points. This is not a secret. The government don't keep it a secret. Admittedly, they don't like promote it, but everything you do has to be about these points. I'm going to go through them with you. I'm going to give you examples, and I am going to be brutally honest with you. By the way, I'm sorry about the background. I'm losing my home. You know, I've lost my job. I'm losing my home, so it's a bit of going through change. So yeah, sorry about that. But I've discovered that actually a couple of things. One, you don't care what I look like. The fact that I've got dirty hair and stuff, you don't care because you understand, because you wouldn't be watching this if you didn't suffer from chronic illness, or if you didn't have a loved one that suffered from chronic illness. So I really am grateful to those of you that just accept me for how I am. And also I've discovered that you don't care what the background's like, so long as I'm providing you with value. Hence why we are now recording this guide. Right, I want to talk to you about toileting. Do not jump forward this section. I know I say that for every section, but please don't jump forward this section. I'm going to put in a bit of detail about cleaning yourself after you've been to the toilet, and the challenges that is from, and this is a part of the gut PIP claim form guide. So I'll put that in. Then I need to talk to you about a very exciting subject, diarrhea. I changed my mind. I'm editing right now. I'm not putting in the footage about trying to clean yourself when you've got fatigue and pain. I'm going to put a link above so that you can click and watch another video on it for that detail, because at the moment we're still at, like, I know I'm editing, so hoping this is shorter by the time you watch it, but I've still got 2.5 hours of footage. It's a bit too long. I know I've broken it down, but it's too long, so I'll put a link, you can watch that, and let's get back to the diarrhea conversation. Yay! Oh, Charlie, I know, I'm so interesting. This is such an amazing channel. We talk, I'm like, is anyone listening? I tell you, you are. Yeah, we need to talk about diarrhea. For all you IBS warriors, for any of you that get diarrhea because of your meds, do you ever get it where you suddenly have to go to the toilet for a bowel movement and you don't make it in time? If yes, you need to put that into your PIP claim. Do you ever get it where you could be sat on the toilet for half an hour to an hour with diarrhea, or even constipation? That's exhausting. But constipation is absolutely diet-based. If you are struggling that much on the toilet, that you're there for more than a couple of minutes, more fruit, loads more fruit. Get those yellow honeydew melons and start eating them. Even if you're taking meds that make you constipated, dried apricots, amazing, and they're really sweet. I like sweet stuff. The constipation, even if it's med related, you can do something about it, but I would still, yeah, so I wouldn't use the constipation because it's self-inflicted. Even if it's med related, constipation is self-inflicted, and if you keep being constipated, you're going to get hemorrhoids. That's a whole different conversation, which we will talk about at some point. I'm so sorry, I'm editing, and apparently when I started talking about hemorrhoids, I got totally distracted and didn't finish talking about toileting. We were on diarrhea, the exciting subject. Let me show you the points. Now, just before we get back to the riveting diarrhea, let's cover off AIDS. if you are using a bath, a sink, a radiator, something to get yourself off the toilet, that counts as an aid, okay, which is 2 points. This appliance, there seems to be the appliance, that could be a raised toilet seat. For those of you that are struggling with that, when you get your PIP, you can get occupational health and you can get things for free. I got a raised toilet seat and it messed with my head. I just visually looking at it just made me feel like such a failure. I couldn't have it. But when I went to a nursing home and I went to the toilet in Uncle Eddie's bathroom, he had this elegant, you know, who would describe a toilet seat as elegant? It's an elegant raised toilet seat. It was about that high and it was like, it was tilted. And it was so comfortable and it was so easy to stand up afterwards. It was amazing. So have a look at things like that that would definitely help and again improve your quality of life. So if you are using a radiator or something else to get out, make sure you state that, and then in the bit below on the form that says is there anything that would help, put a raised toilet seat, or you know, you can get the like arms to go beside the toilet so you can actually use the arms to stand up. Needs supervision or prompting to be able to manage toileting needs. Obviously, I think that's clear that someone's having to remind you to go to the toilet, and I think for those of us with severe fatigue, it's sometimes we hang on too long and have an accident. Right, we're getting to the diarrhea bit. Okay, so we're coming on to assistance, right? So it's split into different categories. So you get just plain assistance, 4 points. You get assistance for incontinence of either bladder or bowel, and then 8 points if it's incontinence of both. So when I was talking about the diarrhea, that if it suddenly comes on and you don't get any warning, if you're wearing pads or not, it can, obviously it's diarrhea, it's messy. Then you've got to change your clothes, then you've like, where do your clothes go? You're sitting on the toilet. Lo and behold, if you've got nausea and vomiting whilst you've got diarrhea, whole new category. So if this happens where you have an accident, you need to put in the form, you have to state it. Don't forget the points are broken down by bladder and bowel, okay? You get more points if it's bowel. So again, this is one of those times where when people get embarrassed to tell me and they finally get the words out that it's bowel movements, I'm like, that's great, well done for telling me, well done, points. You could say, this is how you could word it, for example, I experience incontinence with my bowel on average once a week, whatever it is. And a lot of people that I talk to, it seems to be sort of med related, or it just hits them like every couple of weeks. So like I've said before, if someone says that to me, I'll take it over the month. I'll say, so if they say, Charlie, it happens every 2 weeks, I'll be like, right, how many times does it happen? Because generally when you get diarrhea, it's not just once. Like, so in that day, how many times will you end up on the toilet or the incontinence? And they'll explain that. How many days would that happen in that 2 weeks? And then I'll work out the month to get an average for weekly. Again, we need to hand it on a plate to PIP. If you can hear purring, boss is loving the... Oh, say hi everyone. I love the microphone. Loves the microphone. So we've talked about, incontinence. It's same for the bladder as well. If the bladder, if that's happening, again, you need to put on average how many times a day. If you're having an accident and it's not just the pad, or you weren't even wearing a pad because obviously you weren't planning it, and then someone has to help you because then you need a bath or you're trying to clean up, you need to put that in. So someone assisting you, okay? Really important one here. If you are being completely practical, and I'm always gutted when people talk to me about this and they're embarrassed. And I'm really blunt with people, and I'll explain. So when people explain to me that they have one of their children's potties that they have to use, or a bottle, or a bucket, or some sort of something to pee in, and they're sort of mortified that they're having to explain this. And I get it, because none of us want to have to do that. But from my point of view, as a logistician, my job was to solve problems. Yes, I was a transport specialist, but when you work in logistics, you're a problem solver. I think you're being practical. I think you are being practical. I'm about to move, boss, leave the microphone alone. I'm about to move into a posh shed because I can't afford to stay in my home. That posh shed is the size of 2 medium-sized double bedrooms, because I need to be as condensed as possible because of my fatigue, and I want to be independent. If your toilet is upstairs and you haven't got the energy to get there, and you're trying to avoid incontinence, so you've got a bucket that you pee in during the night or day, whenever it is, you're being practical. You are being a warrior. You are adapting to your situation. Priority, I want to get you out of wherever you're living, and we need to get you into bungalows and things like that. But you're adapting to your life. You're doing what you can to manage the situation. You shouldn't be embarrassed about that. You should be proud that you are remain as independent as possible. I know it's not graceful and none of us want to do it, but we also don't want to give up. Hence why you're doing it. And the other thing is the bedwetting. If you're having accidents in bed, you need to write it. And remember, this, I know it's shit, I know it's embarrassing, but this funding will make a huge difference to your life. A huge difference. So again, if you are struggling with incontinence for whatever reason, and you're having to do the extreme measures like you've got a bucket and things like that, because without it you would be incontinent, this is brilliant. It's the only time I'm ever going to say it to you. Probably the only time in your life that someone's going to say something positive about incontinence. This is brilliant. This is points. It's something they can't debate with you. This is helping you get your PIP. This is helping you get funding so that you can afford to live, because it's expensive being chronically ill. Okay, let's wrap up. Hope this was helpful. Obviously I've time stamped it, you know, where it's broken down into blocks so you can come back to bits. This is how you win PIP. If you do not follow this scoring system, you're not going to win. If you do not, when you go through this, if you don't fit into the categories with the points, don't bother claiming because you're not ready to get PIP yet. If you don't get the points, you're not ready to get PIP. And if you're someone that's fraudulent and is just trying to claim money so you can sit around and do nothing, get the fuck off my channel. This is for people that truly suffer from chronic illness. So for those of you chronic illness warriors, I will speak to you soon.